Most people have no idea that the very first words they speak each morning decide their entire reality. Every sigh of "I am tired," "I am broke," "I am unlucky" is not harmless talk. It is a command. It is programming. The universe is not ignoring you. It is obeying you. The quantum field is like a perfect mirror, reflecting exactly what you declare yourself to be. And here is the dangerous truth. The two words "I am" hold more power than anything else you will ever say. Why? Because everything that follows becomes your identity. And in the language of the universe, identity and reality are the same. When you say "I am," you are collapsing possibilities into form. You are broadcasting frequency commands that sculpt your world. But here is the trap. Most people use "I am" unconsciously, and they use it against themselves. "I am tired" becomes a permanent state. "I am broke" becomes an identity. "I am unlucky" becomes a curse. And so they stay stuck, locked inside frequencies of lack. Not because the universe is cruel, but because the universe is exact. It reflects what you are, not what you beg for. This is why the greatest teachers across history have warned about the power of "I am." Even in the scriptures, when asked for the divine name, the answer was "I am that I am." It was not poetry. It was revelation. And here is what few will ever tell you. You can shift this power instantly. The moment you stop declaring your past and start declaring your chosen future, you step into the God state. You stop saying "I am trying," and you start saying "I am already." At first, the mind will resist. It will say this is not true. But in quantum creation, you are not lying. You are leading. You are tuning your vibration until reality has no choice but to match. The question is simple. What will you dare to declare? Now let me ask you this. Have you been secretly programming your life without even knowing it? Every word you speak, every casual phrase you repeat, is not random noise. It is a code. It is an invisible command written directly into the field of reality itself. Do you understand what that means? It means that each time you whisper "I am tired," the field does not argue. It accepts. Your body aligns. Your mind agrees. The mirror reflects back a tired life. Each time you declare "I am broke," the frequency locks in. Opportunities bend away from you. Abundance cannot find you. Not because you are undeserving, but because you have tuned your entire station to scarcity. And when you say "I am unlucky in love," do you see the trap? The universe, obedient as ever, shapes events to confirm exactly what you have claimed. This is not chance. This is law. Scientists have proven it through the observer effect. The moment an observer defines the outcome, reality bends to match the expectation. In the quantum field, your self-definition is the observation that collapses potential into form. You have been playing a game your entire life. But here is the shocking part. You never knew the rules. You thought you were just reporting your circumstances. You thought you were simply telling the truth. But what you were really doing was programming the code of your reality. A dangerous game of unconscious creation. Imagine this. A businessman in New York spent years repeating the phrase, "I am not good with technology." He believed it was a fact. He spoke it as if it were news. But that one sentence slowed his company. His team avoided innovation. His reality mirrored his words. Until one day, he shifted. He began declaring, "I am learning technology every single day." At first, it felt strange. His mind argued, but he stayed consistent. 1 year later, his company launched a successful app that transformed their growth. Was that luck? Or was it resonance? His "I am" shifted the entire frequency of his identity, and the field responded. This is the hidden truth. Every "I am" is a seed planted in the soil of the universe. You cannot plant "I am weak" and expect to harvest strength. You cannot plant "I am broke" and expect to gather wealth. The soil does not choose. It simply grows what you command. So let me ask you directly, what have you been planting? What hidden declarations have been shaping the life you now see? And most importantly, what would happen if you dared to change them today? The moment you stop using "I" to describe your past and start using it to declare your chosen future, everything shifts. You stop saying "I am healing" and you begin declaring "I am healed." You stop saying "I am working toward abundance" and you begin embodying "I am abundant now." The mind may scream, "This is not true." But in quantum reality, you are not lying. You are leading. You are training your body, your brain, your field to resonate with a higher frequency. And resonance always wins. Just like a tuning fork that vibrates automatically when struck by the same note, your reality begins vibrating back in harmony. Without force, without struggle, simply by law. And here is my challenge for you. If you have ever spoken the words "I am" in a negative way, comment the one phrase you remember most. Bring it into the light. Break the unconscious cycle, because this is your first step toward rewriting your reality. If you dare to face the hidden code you have been running, you can finally break free. So ask yourself right now, if the words "I am" have been building your life in secret, what do you choose to declare today? What if the real secret was never about the first action you take, but about the source code you broadcast every single day? What if the loop you feel trapped inside is not destiny, but programming? And what if you could break it right now? The truth is simple. Most people are not suffering from lack of effort. They are suffering from repeating unconscious commands. And the most dangerous commands always begin with two words. "I am." You said "I am tired," and the body obeyed. You said "I am unlucky," and life arranged itself to prove you right. You said "I am broke," and the field matched you with scarcity. This is not punishment. It is resonance. It is the law of the mirror. But here is the key. You do not need to fight the mirror. You only need to change the signal you are sending. So how do you escape the cycle? You start by noticing the negative "I am" statements that slip from your mouth. You shine a light on them. You stop letting them hide in the shadows of habit. Then you shift, but not with force. You do it with strategy. Instead of saying "I am not," you move into the power of "I am becoming." You declare "I am" in the process. You say "I am learning." You say "I am growing." You say "I am moving toward." Why does this matter? Because your subconscious mind resists direct contradiction. If you are in debt and you suddenly shout "I am rich," the old identity will fight back. It will scream "liar." It will reject the statement. But when you declare "I am moving toward financial freedom," the resistance softens. The door opens. The new identity can enter. This is not theory. Neuroscience has confirmed it. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that the brain rewires itself through neuroplasticity. Each time you think and feel as if you are a new identity, the neurons reorganize. The old connections weaken. The new connections strengthen. You are literally building a new self. Imagine an athlete in Texas who once said over and over, "I am always injured." His career stalled. His body seemed fragile until he shifted. He began declaring, "I am recovering stronger every day." At first, it felt small, but he repeated it with focus. His training changed. His body aligned with the command. 8 months later, he stood on a podium with a medal around his neck. Was it luck? Or was it programming rewritten? This is the escape. You must break the loop, not by pushing harder, but by rewriting the code. Every word is a seed. Every declaration is a command. When you say "I am weak," the field reflects weakness. When you say, I am learning strength, the field reflects growth. The difference is subtle, but the results are everything. So let me ask you, what would change if every time you caught yourself saying, I am not enough, you shifted into, I am becoming more each day? How would your world look if you replaced, I am failing with, I am finding new ways to succeed? How would your relationships feel if you stopped saying, I am unlucky in love, and began declaring, I am attracting love by becoming love itself? The field does not care which script you write. It only responds to the vibration you choose. And you are the author of that script. Every single morning you wake up, you are programming the day ahead. Not with your actions first, but with your declarations. That is the code behind the game. And the game is always listening. You cannot escape the power of I am, but you can redirect it. And when you do, everything changes. This is your chance to prove it. Right now, think of the negative I am that has haunted you the most. The one phrase you know has locked you into the loop. Bring it to your awareness, and then rewrite it. Turn it into I am becoming. Turn it into I am moving toward. Turn it into I am in the process. Write it in the comments, not as a ritual, but as your first signal to the universe that the code has changed. Do not underestimate the power of this moment. It is not small. It is not symbolic. It is literal programming. The question is, will you keep repeating the old code, or will you dare to install a new one? Because the loop will not break itself. The mirror will not change first. It will only reflect you, and you are the only one who can decide who you are becoming. So answer this. If your current reality feels far away from the life you desire, what I am, are you ready to declare today? What if I told you that your current reality is not a life sentence? What if everything you see right now is nothing more than a snapshot of old data, echoes of signals you once broadcast into the field? The bills, the struggles, the doubts, the repeating patterns are not final truth. They are delayed reflections of the I am statements you spoke yesterday, last month, last year. And here is the secret most people never learn. Reality is slow. It shows you the past. It mirrors the frequencies you once declared. It is data, not destiny, which means the moment you change the signal, the future data must change too. Do you understand what this means? It means that your present is not the proof of who you are. It is the residue of who you were. And the only question that matters now is simple. Who will you decide to be today? When you shift the inside, the outside cannot resist. It must reorganize. It is law. Bruce Lipton has shown through epigenetics that even your very cells, your very genes, respond to environment and belief. In less than 8 hours, the expression of your DNA can change depending on the signals you send. If that is true for your biology, imagine the force it carries in your entire field of reality. You are not trapped. You are broadcasting. And what you broadcast creates the mirror. The story is powerful. A single mother in Chicago lived years under the declaration, I never have enough money. Every month she repeated it. Every week she confirmed it. And life mirrored it back. Scarcity became normal. Struggle became identity. Until she learned the truth about programming. She began to rewrite her code. Instead of saying, I never have enough, she declared, I am learning to manage and multiply money. At first, nothing seemed to change, but she kept broadcasting. 2 years later, she opened her own bakery. Today, she is financially free. Did the world suddenly decide to reward her? Or did her new signal rewrite her field until the world had no choice but to align? This is why you must stop worshiping the present moment as unchangeable truth. Your present is just a reflection of old commands, old words, old I am declarations. It is data with an expiration date, and you hold the pen to write the update. So ask yourself right now, what data have you been clinging to as if it were law? What evidence have you been pointing to as if it were final? The debt? The loneliness? The failure? None of that is permanent. It is only the mirror of old signals. And a mirror cannot lead. It can only follow. The power is in the signal you send now. When you shift your inner frequency, when you declare a new I am, the field recalibrates. And when the field recalibrates, reality has no choice but to follow. This is not hope. It is science. Your brain, through neuroplasticity, wires itself to match the identity you choose. Your cells, through epigenetics, express in alignment with the beliefs you hold. Your life, through resonance, mirrors the vibration you broadcast. The loop is complete. You change, then reality changes. So let me challenge you. Stop treating your current reality as a sentence written in stone. See it for what it really is. Old data, outdated code, a reflection of who you once believed you were. If you want a new life, you must send a new signal. You must declare a new identity, and you must hold it until the mirror catches up. This is the price of transformation, but it is also the promise, because no matter how heavy your present feels, it is already fading. It is already old, and your future is being coded right now by the words you speak and the frequencies you send. So here is your step. Name the old data you are ready to release. Bring it into the light. Write it down. Declare it in the comments, not as a confession, but as a burial, a release, a choice to leave behind the signal that no longer serves you. This is how you signal the universe that the old code has ended and a new one has begun. The mirror will not move first. It waits for you. The field will not shift until you shift, but the moment you do, it has no choice but to follow. The question is urgent. If reality is only showing you old data, what new signal will you dare to broadcast today? What happens when your inner identity matches perfectly with the reality you desire? What happens when the gap between who you believe you are and what you want collapses into one? That is the moment you step into the God state. It is not fantasy. It is alignment. It is the state where consciousness, emotion, and action vibrate on the same frequency. When you are in this state, you no longer chase reality. Reality chases you. Think about a tuning fork. Strike one tune to the note A, and another A nearby begins to vibrate without effort. No pushing, no forcing, just resonance. The God state works the same way. When you vibrate as the person who already has the health, the love, the wealth, the peace you crave, the universe responds with resonance. You become the struck fork. Reality vibrates back. And here is the science. Heart math research has shown that the electromagnetic field of the heart is far more powerful than the brain. When you feel an elevated emotion, your heart radiates a signal stronger than any thought alone. That signal is broadcast into the field. It becomes the tuning fork of your existence. And when that signal matches the frequency of your desired reality, the field has no choice but to echo it back. This is not theory. This is not just philosophy. This is physics and biology working together in harmony. Do you understand the magnitude of this? It means your inner state is not just private. It is broadcasting. It is creating. It is shaping the world that surrounds you. And here is a story you need to hear. In Los Angeles, an artist once struggled in obscurity. Each day he faced rejection. Each night he doubted his path. But instead of surrendering, he began practicing the God state. Every morning, he closed his eyes and imagined himself performing in front of thousands. He felt the sound of the crowd. He breathed the energy of the stage. He lived the reality within. 1 year later, he stood under the blazing lights of Coachella, performing for thousands, just as he had imagined. Was it coincidence? Or was it resonance? You already know the answer. The God state is not about begging for miracles. It is about becoming the miracle. It is not about asking for blessings. It is about embodying the blessing so deeply that the universe cannot tell the difference between inner and outer. When your inner identity is coherent with your vision, the law of resonance ensures the match. And this is where you are invited. Right now, for the next 10 seconds, close your eyes. Feel yourself already there, already in the life you desire, already in the reality you have chosen. Let your heart broadcast that signal. One word, one emotion, one vibration. When you open your eyes, share that word. Write it down. Declare it, not to me, but to the field. Because that single word is a frequency. It is a command. It is the evidence that you have begun the shift. And yet, I must ask you this. What happens if your nervous system fights back? What happens when your body, conditioned by years of old data, resists the new signal? You may feel doubt. You may feel fear. But do not confuse resistance with impossibility. Resistance is proof that the old identity is breaking apart. The God state is not achieved by avoiding resistance. It is achieved by holding coherence long enough for resistance to dissolve. Every time you choose alignment, every time you embody the feeling of the future as if it is now, you rewire your brain. You recondition your body. You retrain your field. The old identity loses power. The new identity grows stronger. And one day, without warning, reality tips. The mirror catches up. The resonance is complete. The life you once imagined is the life you now live. This is the God state, and it is waiting for you. The only question that remains is simple. Will you dare to embody it? Asterisk. What if the resistance you feel is not sabotage, but protection? What if your nervous system is not your enemy, but your guardian, defending you based on old memories? This is the hidden truth. The reason you delay, the reason you hesitate, the reason you shrink back when you try to step into a new identity. Your nervous system does not yet believe the new version of you is safe. Every time you declare, "I am different," the body checks its archive. It searches for past proof. And when it does not find safety in that identity, it triggers survival. Fight, flight, freeze. Not because you are weak, but because you are wired to survive. So how do you break this? How do you calm the body enough to allow the new self to take root? You do it through small signals of safety. You teach your nervous system that the new identity is not a threat. You create micro-experiences each day that prove change is safe. Imagine this. A programmer in Seattle was terrified of public speaking. His nervous system equated speaking with danger. Each time he tried to prepare, he froze. Until he found the method. 5 minutes a day, alone, in front of a mirror. He practiced speaking, not to an audience, but to himself. His body learned. It rewired. 6 months later, he stood on a stage at an international conference, delivering his message with clarity. What changed? Not his talent, not his knowledge. His nervous system learned to feel safe in the new role. This is science. Studies of the fight, flight, freeze response show that repeated safe exposure retrains the body. The same way you can desensitize fear of heights step by step, you can desensitize fear of success, love, or abundance. Each small action is a signal. Each signal rewrites the archive. Each archive becomes proof that the new identity is safe. And when safety is established, resistance dissolves. The God state is no longer interrupted. Alignment becomes sustainable. So let me ask you, What is the one small action you could take today that would prove to your nervous system that change is safe? Not a giant leap, not a risky gamble. Just one simple action that shows your body it can relax into the new frequency. Perhaps it is speaking one sentence of truth to a mirror. Perhaps it is writing one declaration on paper. Perhaps it is holding one elevated emotion for 60 seconds. Do not underestimate the small. The nervous system rewires through repetition, not drama. The new identity takes hold through safety, not shock. Your role is to provide those signals every single day until the body no longer resists, until the body joins the mind and the heart in coherence, until the vibration of the God state is steady. Do you see the beauty of this? The resistance is not a wall. It is an invitation. It is your nervous system asking for proof, asking for reassurance, asking to be trained into safety, and you hold the power to provide it. The question is, will you ignore the resistance and call it failure, or will you embrace it as feedback and create safety step by step? The choice determines how long you stay aligned. This is why today matters. Right now, you can declare the small action that begins the retraining. The action that signals to your body that change is safe. Write it, share it, declare it, not as a performance, but as a command to your nervous system. Because the longer you wait, the louder resistance grows. But the moment you act, the body begins to relax. The system learns. The field aligns. The God state holds. So what will it be? What action will you take today to show your body that your future is not danger, but safety? What proof will you give yourself that change is not threat, but freedom? The mirror is waiting. The field is listening. The nervous system is watching. The answer is in your hands. What if the real key to holding the God state was not force, not luck, not discipline, but a simple loop you can repeat until it becomes your second nature? What if you could anchor this state so deeply that no resistance, no setback, no fear could pull you out? That is when the God state stops being a fleeting moment and becomes your identity. And the secret is in 3 steps. Pause, feel, act. 3 words that rewrite everything. 3 words that transform the way you show up in every moment. Let us begin with pause. Most people rush. They react. They repeat the old code without even noticing. But when you pause, even for 3 seconds, you reclaim your power. You stop the unconscious loop. You become aware of the words you are about to speak. And in that pause, you choose again. You shift from I am broken to I am healing. From I am weak to I am growing. From I am lost to I am finding my way. The pause is the doorway, the moment where the old identity loses its grip. But it does not stop there. The second step is feel, because words without emotion are just noise. Your body must feel the new identity as if it is real. Your heart must broadcast the vibration. Science has proven it. Judith Glaser discovered that when action is tied to emotion, neural connections become stronger, more lasting. That means when you combine your declaration with elevated feeling, you carve deep pathways in the brain. You signal the nervous system that this identity is alive. You broadcast to the field with power. Without feeling, there is no frequency. With feeling, the entire universe vibrates back. And then comes the third step, act, because a belief without action fades. A declaration without movement dissolves. Action seals the identity into reality. When you act from the new self, even in the smallest way, you prove to your brain, your body, and the field that you are serious. You lock the God state into the physical. A salesperson in Miami applied this loop. Before every call, he paused. He caught the old script, I am bothering people. He replaced it with, I am offering value. Then he felt it. He imagined the joy of helping someone. He let the feeling fill his chest. And then he acted. He made the call from that new state. In 3 months, his sales grew by 200%. Not because he learned a new technique, not because the market changed, because he entered the loop. Pause, feel, act, again and again until it became habit. Do you see the power of this? You are never more than 3 steps away from alignment. You do not need to control the future. You do not need to fix the past. You only need to enter the loop right now. Pause, feel, act, and repeat. Over time, the loop becomes your default. The nervous system relaxes. The brain rewires. The heart broadcasts stronger and stronger signals. And the God state is no longer a state you visit. It becomes the state you live. But here is the challenge. Most people hear this and think it is too simple. They crave complexity. They want the big leap. But the truth is, transformation is built on repetition. Safety is built on practice. Identity is built on consistent signals. This loop is the bridge. The question is, will you walk it? Right now, test it. Pause for a breath. Choose your new I am. Feel it in your body until the energy shifts. Then act from it, no matter how small. That single cycle is enough to create change. And when you repeat it daily, the shift becomes permanent. So here is your invitation. Try this loop today. Apply it in one conversation, one decision, one small moment, and then share your experience. Declare it, anchor it, because your declaration signals the universe, and your action proves the truth. The loop is not theory. It is a tool. It is a weapon. It is the way you hold the God state without slipping back. The mirror will adjust. The field will respond. The only thing left to ask is this. When resistance comes, when doubt creeps in, when you are tempted to return to the old identity, will you choose the loop? Will you pause? Will you feel? Will you act? Because the God state does not demand perfection. It only demands repetition. What if motivation never truly disappears? What if it only gets buried under layers of routine, repetition, and familiarity? What if the fire you think is gone is actually still burning, waiting for you to clear the ashes? The truth is, you did not lose your drive. You just lost sight of your reason. And the moment you reconnect with that original why, energy floods back into your body. Can you remember why you started? Can you feel that first spark, the vision that once pulled you forward with unstoppable force? That is not gone. It is hidden. And when you bring it back to the surface, you reignite your path. But here is the mistake most people make. They wait for motivation to return on its own. They sit in the fog of boredom, believing inspiration will strike like lightning. But motivation is not random. It is designed. It is activated by purpose, autonomy, and progress. Daniel Pink showed this clearly. Purpose gives meaning. Autonomy gives control. Progress gives proof. Without these 3, energy drains. With them, energy explodes. So how do you break free when the routine feels heavy? Step 1, reconnect with your original purpose. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Remember the reason you said yes in the beginning. That reason is a compass. It does not fade. It waits. Step 2, change your environment. Shift the scenery. Move your body. Break the pattern. Because the nervous system craves novelty. Even a small change in surroundings can reset your mind. And step 3, track progress, no matter how small. Progress is fuel. Each step forward confirms that the journey is alive. Let me tell you a story. A writer in Boston faced the worst block of his life. Pages sat empty. Days dragged on. His passion felt dead. But instead of quitting, he remembered his why. He had started writing to give people hope. He felt that purpose again. Then he changed his environment. He left for a 1-week road trip, driving through new towns, meeting strangers, feeling alive. When he returned, the fog was gone. He poured himself into his novel. Months later, that book became a bestseller. Was the inspiration gone forever? No, it was buried. And he dug it up by reigniting purpose and shifting environment. This is the formula, and it is available to you right now. Do not wait for motivation to arrive. Create it, stir it, awaken it. Ask yourself, why did I begin? What was I chasing? Who did I want to become? Let those answers rise inside you. Let them fuel your heart. Then change something today. Rearrange your desk. Take a different path to work. Step outside and breathe air your lungs have not tasted in months. Give your body novelty. And finally, measure progress. Not perfection, progress. Even the smallest step counts as proof. Proof that you are moving. Proof that your journey is alive. So here is your call to action. Comment the one reason you started. Remind yourself. Remind the field. Remind your future. Because the moment you declare it again, you send a signal that the fire is alive. And yet, the question remains. What happens when fear rises? What happens when stepping out of comfort feels too risky? How do you hold on when the voice of failure whispers louder than your purpose? That is the question waiting for you in the next step. But for now, remember this. Motivation is not gone. It is hidden. And you already hold the match to set it ablaze again. What if fear was never meant to stop you? What if fear was not a wall, but a signal? Proof that you are expanding beyond your limits. What if the very thing you have been running from is actually the fuel you need to rise higher? This is the secret hidden in plain sight. Fear is not your enemy. It is energy. Raw, powerful energy. And the way you interpret it decides your destiny. Most people see fear and freeze. They believe it means danger. They believe it means turn back. But there are two kinds of fear. One is protective. The fear that stops you from walking into traffic. The fear that keeps you from touching fire. That fear protects life. But then there is the other kind. Growth fear. The fear that appears when you are about to step into something bigger, something unknown. That fear is not danger. That fear is evolution. It is the nervous system saying, we have not been here before. And here is the shift that changes everything. When you feel fear in the presence of growth, you can choose to see it not as a warning, but as confirmation. Confirmation that you are on the edge of expansion. Confirmation that you are breaking patterns. Confirmation that you are alive. Harvard research has proven this. When people reframe anxiety as excitement, their performance improves dramatically. The heart races the same. The body feels the same. The only difference is interpretation. One drains. The other fuels. Which will you choose? A startup founder in Silicon Valley faced this test. The night before launching his product, fear consumed him. His body shook. His mind raced with what-ifs. But instead of retreating, he shifted. He told himself this fear is not danger, it is energy. This fear is proof I am doing something that matters. He turned the racing heart into fuel. He walked into the launch with fire. Months later, he closed a $5 million round of funding. Was it luck? Or was it mastery of fear? You already know. Fear can either shrink you or expand you. The choice is interpretation. So ask yourself right now, what fear is knocking on your door? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of rejection? The fear of being seen? What if instead of shrinking, you declared this fear is proof that I am growing? What if you turned every anxious thought into evidence that you are stepping into the unknown where breakthroughs live? The body cannot tell the difference between fear and excitement. Only the mind decides. And the mind is your tool. You can train it. You can reframe it. You can transform fear into rocket fuel. The question is, will you? Will you stop running from the very feeling that signals growth? Or will you finally use it to rise? This is your chance. Right now, declare the fear you carry. Name it, bring it into the light, and then write how you will use it as fuel. Comment it, share it, not as weakness, but as signal. Because once you shift your perspective, fear loses its grip. It becomes energy. It becomes momentum. It becomes proof. Fear does not mean stop. It means go. Fear does not mean danger. It means expansion. Fear does not mean you are weak. It means you are alive at the edge of your potential. So let me ask you directly. If fear is proof you are stepping into a bigger life, what fear will you turn into fuel today? And deeper still, how will you know you are living in alignment with your true values? That is the next question. But for now, remember this. Fear is not the barrier. Fear is the evidence. Fear is the energy. And the way you use it will decide everything. You know you are on the right path when every action aligns with your core values. But here is the question. Do you even know what those values are? Do you know the three truths inside you that cannot be negotiated, cannot be traded, cannot be silenced? Most people drift because they never ask. They chase goals that are not theirs. They follow expectations that do not belong to them. And then they wonder why success feels empty. But the answer is simple. Without alignment, there is no fulfillment. Without values, there is no direction. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what are the three values you refuse to compromise? Is it freedom? Is it love? Is it growth? Is it integrity? Is it contribution? Your higher self already knows. And when you choose to live by those values, every decision becomes clear. The noise disappears. The confusion fades. Alignment is the compass, and the compass never lies. Science confirms this. Research on values alignment shows that when people live in sync with their deepest values, their happiness rises. Their energy expands. Their work becomes more powerful. Why? Because alignment removes friction. You stop fighting yourself. You stop betraying yourself. You step into coherence. And coherence is power. Consider the story of a lawyer in Washington, D.C. For years, she climbed the ladder in a prestigious firm. The money was good. The recognition was constant. But inside, she was empty. She valued justice. She valued contribution. She valued freedom. And yet every day she traded those values for a paycheck. Until one day she chose differently. She left the firm. She joined a nonprofit that defended those without a voice. The income was smaller, but her alignment was greater. And in that alignment, she found joy. She found freedom. She found herself again. Was that a loss? Or was that the moment she finally won? You already know the answer. Alignment is victory. Misalignment is defeat. The world will always try to tempt you away from your values. It will offer comfort. It will offer approval. But every time you betray your core, your energy drains. And every time you honor your core, your energy explodes. So let me ask you, what are your three values? What truths guide your higher self? Write them, claim them, declare them. Because the moment you declare them, you anchor your compass. And with that compass, you cannot be lost. Every action becomes a mirror of your essence. Every choice becomes an act of creation. This is how you live from your higher self. This is how you embody the God state, not by chasing illusions, but by embodying values. The CTA is simple. Comment one value right now. One word that defines you. One word that you refuse to betray. That single act is powerful. It is not just writing. It is anchoring. It is broadcasting to yourself and to the field who you truly are. And when you live by it, you cannot be shaken. The field reflects coherence. The world bends to integrity. But the question still remains. If values alignment is the path, then what is the final step? What is the ultimate move that transforms you from seeker into creator? That is the last piece. The final mystery. The ultimate doorway. And it is waiting for you in the next step. What if the final step was not about learning more, not about waiting longer, but about declaring with full power who you truly are? What if everything you have heard until now has been preparing you for this single moment of truth? The journey has led here. The discoveries, the shifts, the awakenings, all point to one declaration. I am the creator of my life. Say it, feel it, live it. This is not just a phrase. It is a command, a frequency, a law written into the fabric of the universe. When you declare, I am the creator of my life, you send a signal so clear that every cell, every thought, every possibility bends to align with it. You are no longer begging. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer trapped. You are authoring. And science confirms this. Hebb's law states that neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you repeat a thought, every time you speak a phrase, the pathway grows stronger. Repetition builds identity. Identity builds reality. This is why your daily declaration matters. It is not ritual. It is programming. It is how you lock in the God state until it becomes permanent. Let me show you through a story. A young immigrant arrived in California with nothing but a dream. Each day he whispered to himself, I am a successful entrepreneur. He did not say I hope. He did not say I will be. He declared it as truth. He repeated it daily. He felt it in his bones. 5 years later, he owned 3 thriving stores. Was it chance? Or was it the inevitable outcome of consistent declaration? You know the answer. The field obeys the code you write. And this is your moment to write it clearly. Right now, place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath and say it with me. I am the creator of my life. Say it again with power. I am the creator of my life. Let the words vibrate through your chest. Let the energy broadcast from your heart. That is your command. That is your truth. That is your final step. And now I call you to anchor it. Comment these words below. Write them so your subconscious sees them, so the field receives them, so the universe knows you are serious. Share this message with someone who needs to remember their power. Like this video to amplify the signal. Subscribe so you do not lose the momentum you have built. Every interaction is not just support. It is resonance. It is energy sent out into the field, and it returns multiplied. Out of millions of videos, you chose this one. That is not accident. That is alignment. That is proof that you were meant to hear these words at this exact moment. Do not let it pass. Seal it now. Declare it. Write it. Share it. Live it. Because the mirror is waiting. The field is listening. And the universe is ready to respond. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are not lost. You are the creator of your life. So I ask you one last time. Will you declare it? Will you live it? Will you embody it? Say it now. Say it loud. Say it with all of you. I am the creator of my life.